Tonight I arrived at the village of Voltar. From the very first step I felt the air pressing down on me. The fog clung to my skin like cold hands. When I asked the villagers why the mist never leaves this place, they lowered their heads. But when I mentioned the butcher, silence fell. One of them whispered with trembling lips, "Do not speak his name, boy. Stay away from the square." My curiosity only burned stronger. I found the butcher's shop, a crooked-roofed building, windows dark, the glass smeared with grease and dried blood. A sickening stench hung in the air, like iron rust mixed with rotting flesh. I saw Ivan Petrov, tall frame, thin, pale face. When I greeted him, he offered only a narrow smile. He placed a chunk of meat on the counter. I swear on my life, it looked less like animal flesh and far more like a human thigh. Past midnight, I woke to a strange sound, something heavy being dragged over cobblestones. I pulled the curtain aside. It was Ivan. He pushed a rusty wheelbarrow covered with a thick cloth. For a moment the cloth slipped, an arm fell out, thin, lifeless. The dogs howled, but the villagers stayed silent, as if deaf. How can they ignore what I saw? Today I spoke with an old woman. When she realized I was searching for the butcher, tears welled in her eyes. "My son, that man eats people. For years he has. Whoever opposed him, their flesh was sold the very next day." I asked why no one fought back. She answered, "We are his herd, like pigs awaiting the knife." Tonight I followed him. He dragged the wheelbarrow behind the shop, opened a hidden door, and went underground. I lit a lantern and crept after him. A vast cellar, walls damp, reeking of fresh blood. Shelves lined with enormous jars. Inside floated human body parts, and in the corner, something assembled from flesh and bone. A grotesque figure, mouth sewn shut, eyes open, seated in a chair. Behind me a voice. I turned. Ivan was there, smiling. "Now you are my guest too. I cannot tell how many days have passed. I am imprisoned in the cellar." Screams echo from the other rooms. Ivan sometimes enters, sharpening his knife, muttering to himself. He says they always watch. I am never alone. He means the flesh sculptures. By God, I swear their lips sometimes move, as if still alive. Tonight Ivan spoke of his reasons. He said human flesh is the finest meat. Animals are not enough. They have no souls. When I eat their flesh, I hear their voices. I am never lonely. Then he laughed, a brittle laugh. "I do not fear death. Death itself is my guest." They brought the village priest. He wanted to sanctify the cellar, holding his cross high. Ivan laughed. "Your cross cannot feed hunger." The knife struck. The priest's scream shook the cellar. When silence returned, Ivan placed the man's heart in a jar. Then the voices rose. The walls themselves seemed to laugh. I no longer know if I dream or wake. Hooks dangle from the ceiling, their shadows stretching across the walls like grasping hands. The flesh figures gather around me. Their eyes are open. Their lips move in silence. The more I stare, the more I feel myself becoming like them. Tonight I realize there is no end to this story. The butcher cannot die. Whenever one victim is taken, another replaces them, and the voices continue. Ivan said, "I am only a shadow. When I fade, another shadow will rise." Perhaps he spoke the truth. Perhaps the Black Butcher is not a man, but a curse. If anyone finds this diary, know that I am no longer alive. The sound of the hooks grows closer. I cannot write any longer, but I know what has begun will never end. The Black Butcher always waits. When the fog returns to the square, you too will hear the squeak of the wheelbarrow,